Hi guys, just doing another video review, and this time I am looking at another robot vacuum cleaner. I don't know if you've seen my previous video, but I reviewed this particular model, which is the Ilife A4 Beetles range. Today we'll be looking at the Ilife V3s Pro range. Slightly different to each other. What I'll do is I'll take you through the features and functions on this one in particular first, and then I'll do a sort of quick comparison and let you know how I've gotten on with both of them as well. So first of all, let me take you through what you get with the actual device. So you get your vacuum cleaner, you get a spare set of brushes, so you already have two of those attached to the machine. You get another two just as spares. You get your HEPA filters there as well, so there's one ready in the machine, and then you get an additional two. And you also get a remote control, and finally you get your docking station with the power lead as well. So that's what you get. If we take a closer look at the machine and put all of this to the side first, so chuck all of that to the side, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a closer look at the machine. So you've got a power on, power off switch just on the side there. You pretty much leave that on all the time, unless you're planning on going on holiday or something like that. You just leave it on all the time. On the front, you've got this bumper guard here. So what this does is it will sort of, as it's vacuuming along, if it hits a wall, it lets the robot know that it's hit an object, and it reverses and goes in a different direction. On the back, you can see here there is actually nothing on the back. And on the bottom, there you go. So you've got your two brushes just there. You've got your directional controls just there. And this also has the cliff sensor. You also have these actuating wheels. So as you can see, they go up and down, and that helps it go over the different surfaces. So as you can see in our house, we've got tiles. We've also got this carpet, which is a very loose pile carpet. And then upstairs we've got a very thick close pile carpet as well. And these wheels actually do a great job in helping it get around the different surfaces. Finally, on this model, you've got the suction hole just there as well. So what will happen is the brushes will rotate, push as much dirt towards the center, and then the suction draws it in. And when it draws it in, if we flip it up, you will see just like that, this is where your dust collection is. So what I'll do is I'll pick it up and I'll show you. So you give it a good tug, and that's your dust collection chamber. Your HEPA filter just goes there. And then to empty this, show you, just unclip that, and then you've got another secondary filter which you remove. And once you remove that, you can see your rubbish just is in there. In terms of sort of capacity wise, it doesn't hold a massive amount, especially when comparing it to the A4. So on the A4, it's a little bit easier to remove the waste collection unit, and you can see this does hold a lot more rubbish. So we'll show you this one in operation as well. So I'll plug this all back in. Make sure we've got it the right way round, so it's relatively straightforward. And one thing I've noticed with these products by Ilife is the actual quality. So it does come across as a premium product. You do pay quite a lot. It's probably the same price as an entry-level Roomba vacuum cleaner, but actually these do feel very, very well made. They don't feel like a cheap sort of Chinese knockoff. They are, quality products. And I'll come to the features as well. So this is the remote that you get with it. So I wanted to show you the two different remotes. So this is the remote that comes with the A4. This is the remote that comes with the V3s. As you can see, they are pretty much the same. The only difference is that this one has a max mode button, whereas this one doesn't. And then the features and functions, apart from that, they're pretty much the same, but slightly different layout just there. And what I'll do is I'll take you through the individual functions as well. So you've got your timer, which you can set it on. So if you want it to come on at a certain time during the day, you can set it up so that it comes on during certain times. What you then have is your directional control. So you can then direct it. So if it's missed a particular spot where there's a lot of rubbish, you can press the button and direct it to where the rubbish is. You've got your play and pause, which starts and stops it. You've got a timer setting just there, and then you've got your main control functions here. So the first one is a edge-to-edge cleaning mode. So if you want it to just run along the edges of the room first, you press that, well, you place it next to the edge first, then you press that, and what it will do is it will follow the edge and it will sweep all the way up against the wall. This is the send home button, and I'll show you how that works in a second as well. So when you're done cleaning, if you press that, the device will automatically make its way back to the dock and dock itself into the charger and self-charge. And then you've got a spot cleaning mode as well. So if you've got a particular area that you want it to focus on, what you do is you pick up the robot, place it in the spot, press the spot cleaning mode, and it starts turning around in a circle until it's cleaned everything. So let me turn the device on and I'll show you how it works, what it looks like when it lights up. So when it's charging, these LED indicators will indicate how much charge it's got, as well as how long before it's fully charged. So when it's on low, you only see the one indicator on each side. When it's all there fully charged, you'll see 3. So what I'll try and do is I'll press play and pause. We'll watch it go around a little bit. I'll show you the different features and functions as well. So if I press play. Okay, so what you saw there was I turned it on and I activated the spot cleaning mode. Hopefully the camera picked it up. You saw it started to rotate and pick up the dust. What it will also start to do is when you put it on spot cleaning mode, it detects that you're trying to clean a particular stubborn spot. So it ups the power that it sort of sends out to the device and increases the suction so that it cleans really well. When it's on normal mode, you'll hear, what I'll do is I will play it again. You'll hear that it's a little bit quieter. So we'll go ahead and we'll do it once more. So that's it on. And you can see I'm now controlling it with the directional buttons. And then if I press spot cleaning mode, you will hear that it picks up in speed, pace and general power that it outputs. So there you go, you can hear that it's now gotten a little bit louder as well. And it starts to rotate the spots. And then if we press go home, it will start to work out where the charging dock is, and it will slowly start to make its way to the charging dock, and then it will dock itself as well. If it doesn't line up first time around, what it will do is it will try and have a second attempt, and what I'll do is give it a little bit of a helping hand and hopefully it will dock in. There we go, just like that, so second time. It will, I mean, as you saw there, it sort of didn't dock itself initially because the dock started to move and it lost its sort of guidance. When it does dock, it docks perfectly fine, especially if you have it up against the wall. Normally we don't have it like this. When it's in the dock, you can see the LEDs are flashing just like that, and you can see it's got one LED left before it fully charges itself. So I've been using it for the last week. How have I gotten on? Is probably the main question that needs to be answered. So far it's been really good. These two devices are slightly different. So I've had this for probably a couple of months now and gotten on really well with this particular device. So when I got this, I was hoping that it was going to be just as good. And they are different. They both have roughly the same amount of charging time and use. So this will last about 140 or about 140 minutes to 120 minutes. Same thing with this one as well. Where they differ is if I flip over this one, you will see this has the rotating brush, whereas that had the suction. So on this one, what you have is when it's on, you have this rotating brush which spins around and it collects a lot of the dust and dirt. On the other one, you only have the brushes at the front which spin around and then the suction. So two slightly different models. This I have found it works really well, but in our house we have, my sister's got a lot of long hair, and when it falls, what happens is it goes into the brushes and actually ends up sort of tangling itself in the brushes. Now, if we had one where it didn't have the rotating brush, then it would actually work a lot better and it would perform a little bit better, and it would mean less maintenance. At the moment, probably once a week we clean up the dust collector, and then you have to go around and make sure that there's no sort of stray hairs blocking this or clogging up the rotating brush. With this one, you don't have that issue. You only have to sort of make sure that there's nothing blocking these rotating brushes, but you don't have to really monitor the suction chamber at all. You just have to make sure you empty out the wastebasket. So they are two different devices. They both work very, very well, but they probably serve slightly different purposes. If you have pet hair, the rotating brush, yes, it's great for picking up pet hair, but actually what you find is it gets clogged. Any rotating brush, just by nature, it will get clogged and it will need maintenance. So if you're after something that needs a little bit less maintenance, I would recommend the one with the suction, which is the Ilife V3s. This one, however, is noisier. So what I'll do is I'll turn this one on and we'll have a listen, and then I'll try and turn the other one on straight afterwards. So I'll have to turn that one off first. Otherwise, the thing that I have discovered is if they're both turned on, you can control them with either remote, and then they both end up turning on, turning off, and it just becomes a bit of a Robot Wars type scenario. So just make sure it is turned on, just like that. If I press play, you'll hear this is a little bit quieter. Now the other thing that this does have, which the V3s doesn't have, is a max power mode, which allows it to clean a little bit better. So I'll show you that in a second as well. So if I use the other remote, which is the remote for this, it's got the max power button just on the bottom there. So if I press that, if I do spot clean, you can hear it spinning away. If I then put max power mode on, you can hear that's the maximum power that output. So it's still not as loud as this. So we'll go ahead and stop that. And then what I'll do is straight away we'll try and play this one so you can hear this one back to back. And hopefully on camera you'll pick up the difference of how much louder this is. If I put it on spot clean mode again, you'll hear it ramp up. So again, I'll turn that off. So with this one, where we were watching TV in the evening or anything like that, actually you could turn this on, put the volume up a little bit more than you normally would, and you can carry on, watching telly. With this particular device, you can't really do that. If you turn it on, it's too noisy, you turn up the telly too much, and it's too much of a distraction. This was sort of, you wouldn't notice it. In terms of profile wise, they are both exactly the same as well. So you can see actually side by side, they are pretty much identical. Stop this one trying to kill the other one. So side by side they are identical, and the main difference is the collection chamber. So in summary then, if you're after something that has the turbo brush, which is a little bit quieter and has a bigger dust collector, go for the A4. If you're after something that uses suction power and therefore would need less maintenance because you don't have to clean out the rotary brush, but downside is it's a little bit noisier, and also it has a smaller dust collection chamber, go for the V3s Pro. They both work just as well as each other. I think this one I ended up rating 5 stars previously. and you won't be surprised to know that actually this one I will rate as 5 stars. If I had to choose between one of them, if it really came down to it, I would probably go with whichever one was cheaper at that time, unless I really wanted a specific feature on either one of these two. They both look really good. The quality is really good as well. The A4, I know they brought out a slightly newer version, so this one's a little bit older now, whereas the V3s is, I believe, a completely brand new model. So again, this is probably the latest model and the best technology. In terms of cleaning, they both handle really well. They pick up the vast majority of the dirt. So previously, where we were having to hoover or sweep, you know, my mum or myself or someone would have to sweep at least once a day, and then we'd have to vacuum the house at least once or twice a week. Now what we do is we turn this on, either one, let it run, and it picks up the majority of the dirt, so we don't have to sweep the floors. And then actually once a week we'll probably go around and do a proper deep clean. Don't expect this to replace your vacuum cleaner, because it won't. Unfortunately, because of the sequence it follows, so it follows a random sequence, in the hope that actually by going across the entire sequence random over several goes, it will eventually cover the entire surface area. Sometimes, unfortunately, it will miss stuff. What makes it a little bit worse is, for example, if you have multiple rooms that you want it to cover, it will clean one, and then if it manages, because of the random sequence, to find its way into the other room, will then go into the other room, and then it will come back. So it won't actually, it's not the fully smart systems where it knows that it's cleaned one room in its entirety and then it needs to move on to the next room. It will just do a bit of one room, and then it will do a bit of the other. Easiest way to get around it is stick it in one room, leave the door closed, let it run for half an hour, 40 minutes, until you think that the room's clean enough. Open the door and stick it in the other room. I mean, it's doing the vast majority of the work for you, so to spend 60 seconds picking it up and putting it in another room isn't too much effort. So in summary, both fantastic devices. The V3, just like the A4 model, works fantastically well, and I'd highly recommend both of them. So as always guys, thanks for watching.